Welcome along. Right, only one place to start, and that is with two dramatic games which could play a big role in deciding where the Premier League title ends up come May. So much to unpick with this man, Clinton. Before we do that, and Dave, of course, let's hear the thoughts of the former Liverpool defender, Jamie Carragher. Well, I popped over to the Monday Night Football studio where they're preparing for Everton against West Ham. Jamie Carragher, thank you very much for having us. So, look, your weekend was interesting, wasn't it? Liverpool conceding in the 97th minute, Arsenal scoring in the 96th the next day. Take us inside Jamie Carragher's emotions.
I've had better weekends, put it that way. But listen, it's the Premier League is just the best. That's why we love it. And I think the emotions of, Arsenal supporters and Liverpool supporters over the weekend, I think it's a bit early to be getting too up or down. We're only in September. There's a long way to go in terms of, teams dropping points and winning games late on as Liverpool and Arsenal have done this season. Manchester City probably just sat there as well, just watching the two teams who most people think will contest the title, but they might have a little say in it as well. Did we see Mikel Arteta take that handbrake off, Jamie? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think, some of the criticism that we gave, Arsenal and the manager last week comes from a place that we think this team is a great team, is very close to winning some of the biggest honours. And, listen, he went with Eze instead of Marino, and certainly the substitutions he made in the second half, that's something that we will be looking at tonight on the show as well. Great decisions. Was it just a blip, do you think, for your old side, Liverpool, or are there any alarm bells up there ringing for you? I don't think it's something to get too carried away. Liverpool have won, that's the only time they've dropped points this season. But I do feel that performance has been coming and result as well. I don't think that is just almost like a freak result that you can't believe. I think going into that game, there's probably been a little bit of fear, certainly from me, from day one, in that Bournemouth game, where there's certain things that I don't fully like right now about the Liverpool on the throw-in before. So we're going to look at it there. Yeah, and in terms of Crystal Palace, I mean, they kind of had Liverpool's number recently, haven't they? Obviously, the Community Shield, but Glasner, unbeaten now in 18 games. His stock is as high as ever, isn't it? I mean, he's Crystal Palace's greatest ever manager. This is the greatest ever Crystal Palace team. They won the major trophy in the cup final against Manchester City. The run where they find themselves in the league now, I think, I'm just trying to think now, Steve Coppell's team, did they finish third or fourth one year? They were up there, yeah. They were very high up there. That's the position they find themselves in right now. But the fact they've won a trophy is fantastic. European nights as well. And, listen, it was always going to be a tough game for Liverpool. And I think a point on the back of how Liverpool performed in the first half, and Glasner's team did as well, would have been a brilliant point for Liverpool. But, listen, they deserved it. Well, you wonder what the ceiling is for Palace under him, don't you? Because the vultures will be flying over Selhurst Park, all the big clubs will be after him when they're looking for a vacancy to be filled. But what a time to be a Palace fan right now as well. Amazing. And you just feel for them really with what happened over the summer with Europe. I think most neutral football fans would have looked at that and really felt for them. Yes, they're still in a European competition, but not the one that they wanted to be and also deserved to be in. Jamie, thanks for now. More from Jamie Carragher from the Monday Night Football studio at 6 o'clock on the Premier League show.
Yeah, more to come from Jamie, and Jamie mentioned about Arsenal's finishes there. And if Mikel Arteta was accused of having the handbrake on against Manchester City, this game against Newcastle was at the opposite end of the spectrum, particularly in the final 10 minutes or so. Martin Odegaard had been suffering with a shoulder injury, and after just a couple of days training, started the game on the bench. But his introduction for the final...
His introduction changed it for them. I thought he made a difference for them and started to penetrate our lines more. And then, the set plays. We know they're a good set play team. And I felt we defended them pretty well all day until the end.
So what did Eddie Howe mean by all of that? Let's take a look at how Arsenal attacked those last few minutes. These are the average positions of Arsenal players from the point where Odegaard was introduced. You've got 8 players in the attacking half. And if you take away one of those, because Trossard was replaced by Miles Lewis-Skelly, you've still got 7 players, plus Gabriel Martinelli as well, who wants to attack down the right-hand side. Let's take those dots on the board and show you what it looks like on the pitch. This is 1 minute at Martin Odegaard's numbers then from the game. Everything went through him from that point on in the game. He had the second most touches and he topped the Arsenal rankings for passes attempted and passes into the final third following his introduction. Now, remember that clip from Eddie Howe earlier talking about Odegaard penetrating the Newcastle lines? Well, this is exactly what he means there. That pass into Gyökeres took 7 defenders out of the game. And then we've got another pass coming up as
This is what happens, Clinton Morrison, when you take the handbrake off. You were very critical of Arteta in the last few weeks.
No, I wasn't.
Handbrake on.
That was you. You made me be critical. I'm not my own person. No, not really.
But it was well and truly off at St James, wasn't it, in the second half?
Yeah, they were outstanding. I thought they were outstanding from minute 1 until the 90th plus so minutes. Anyway, I thought there was a brilliant performance. I played an attacking formation, had Eze in there. I thought Eze in the first half was very good, and even in that second half. But
Does he have to start every game for you, Eze?
well, yeah, you have to find a way, but then Odegaard's back as well, and the difference he makes in that game. Odegaard always looks forward. The pass to Lewis Skelly was fantastic. You could see it. I was watching it at home. Eye of a needle stuff. But sometimes
so what happens when they're both fit, Clinton, those two? Because it's going to happen a lot.
Yeah, it's a difficult. I think Eze's maybe, and it's not his best position, might have to be pushed out to the left. But there'll be times where, as Odegaard hasn't been fit, Eze's played ever so well in that number 10. Or can you sacrifice one of Zubimendi, sit out and put Declan Rice and put Odegaard and put Eze when you're playing against a team you're going to dominate the football? So there's loads of changes they can make. But I was really impressed with Arsenal. And Eddie Howe says that, and I think he's spot on. Odegaard makes a big difference. What killed Newcastle was Livramento injury. Livramento was outstanding. At the right side, when he went to left wing back, as soon as he went off, that's when the game went for Newcastle.
Could Arsenal's finishes, as they're called, and not substitutions, be the difference, do you think, when it comes to that title race? I mean, look, you look at the changes that they made, and I know Saliba came on for Mosquera after, 46 minutes, but, Marino, Odegaard, Lewis Skelly, Martinelli, huge players turning in the dial for Arsenal.
Yeah, definitely. Marino in particular, look, I don't know why people look at him and say maybe he shouldn't be in the team. He's a big impact. He scores a lot of goals and crucial goals. The header's fantastic. Nick Pope was outstanding, probably was going to get man of the match. But the header, he has no chance with that header. And the impact that Arsenal can do. Last season, you looked at the bench and you're thinking, who can come on and make a difference? Arteta turns around now and goes, I've got finishers in my team who make a big difference. And credit to them, because they might have lost that game last season. But they kept on going until the end, and Gabriel pops up with the winner. He's a threat from set pieces.
Are you seeing the progress, though, from an Arsenal point of view? Because, we talked about this so much, haven't we? That they haven't been able to get the
opportunity. Do I make them favourites? No, I don't understand. And I know we get more into it. Why all of a sudden Arsenal beat Newcastle and Liverpool have lost the game that Arsenal become favourites? But I do think this is their time. And it's a sign of...
Very much intensified once again on Ruben Amorim after Manchester United's humbling defeat, Clinton, against Brentford at the G-Tech over the weekend. And today, United's all-time leading goalscorer, Wayne Rooney, has delivered a damning verdict by admitting that he has absolutely no faith in Amorim, while Gary Neville says that he's very, very concerned. Well, speaking on his BBC podcast, Wayne Rooney said this: at the minute, we are all sitting here waiting for it to crumble, Clinton. That culture of the football club that was there has gone. What I'm seeing at the moment is not Manchester United. I honestly hope that they can turn it round and that he does. But after everything I've seen, honestly, I've got very worried now for Ruben Amorim and believes that the players have started to doubt the United head coach's 3-4-2-1 system.
I felt yesterday for the first time, just through instinct, watching it on the television, seeing players' faces, seeing players' body language, that there might be an element of players really doubting the system and what's going on. Ruben Amorim's had a pre-season, yet the performances are as poor as ever. The results are catastrophic, really, in Manchester United terms. There's sticking to your plan, and there's your coach that's got an idea and making sure that he delivers that idea and not flip-flopping with his idea with players, which can sometimes undermine what you're trying to achieve. But then when you're putting Mason Mount at left wing-back, and he's ended up at left wing-back again yesterday in the last 5 minutes of the game, actually putting him out there on the left wing is just, or left wing-back, is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So I am very, very concerned, I really am, because the manager's obviously a good coach, he's had a great record in Portugal, but it's not clicking at all.
OK, for more, we can cross live to Manchester and our reporter Daniel Kahn. Dan, good to see you, mate. The noise is getting louder, isn't it, outside the club? What is the message from within Manchester United right now?
Well, what we can tell you and what we have been telling you throughout the day is no matter how poor United were on Saturday against Brentford in that 3-1 loss, Ruben Amorim still retains the support of those at Manchester United, including the likes of Sir Jim Radcliffe. There were some reports on Sunday that United were potentially drawing up a list of replacements if they were to make a change in the speak right now. But as Gary Neville, impressive against Chelsea in terms of the grit, the determination, intensity they showed in that game, but all of their career as well. But they found it pretty seamless to play through that United side. I mean, you think the first 2 goals, especially 2 long balls that Igor Thiago managed to finish pretty sublimely. And you look at other performances and games as well. The Burnley game, despite winning that in the last minute, another 2 soft goals conceded. Fulham, Craven Cottage, another as well. And I think that's what will concern Ruben Amorim. He said to us after the game on Saturday that they had planned all week for what Brentford were going to do in that game, and they weren't able to do anything that they knew that was coming, and they ended up playing Brentford's game anyway, and that would be what would concern those at Manchester United, those who come to Old Trafford every week as well. The lack of improvement this United side are showing so far this season.
So, Dan, look, you've got Manchester United legends who are coming out strongly and criticising Ruben Amorim. I think you've got a lot of the Manchester United fans now starting to lose a little bit of faith. Why are United, the club, the board, so desperate for Amorim to turn things around?
Well, look, of course he was their appointment last year. I mean, they gave Erik ten Hag an opportunity, 9 Premier League games before making that change. But Ruben Amorim was the man that they decided would take this club forward. And then you look at the investment they've made into the squad, that has been all around Ruben Amorim's appointment. You think Patrick Dorgu, who arrived last January to play left wing back, the likes of Matthias Cunha's philosophy. They've also seen players leave the club, the likes of Marcus Rashford, the likes of Rasmus Højlund, and also, I mean, the main topic at the moment is Kobbie Mainoo not having an opportunity to make a real impact on this team. So too much of the system, and that the players need to take more responsibility. Well, clearly there is a bit of a mentality issue with that squad at the moment, which Ruben Amorim has alluded to as well, because they haven't been able to jumpstart their season, or even last season under Ruben Amorim, to win back-to-back games. They haven't done so under the Portuguese manager, or since May 2024, predating him himself. They can look to get back to winning ways against Sunderland on Saturday at Old Trafford, but the bigger question is, can they get a string of results together under Amorim? That is the bigger question. They'll get the first opportunity to do so on Saturday.
Dan, thank you very much. There we go, Dan Carn live outside Old Trafford. Clinton Morrison, come on, we haven't got long, but you sort this Manchester United mess out for us right now. What's going on?
The players don't like that formation, it looks like. We're not adapting to his formation. I think Ruben Amorim's a bit stubborn. He don't want to change. He hears probably loads of us and ex-players talking about maybe he needs to change the system, and he's thinking, no, I've always done that. I'm not saying he's a bad coach because he works at other clubs. I just don't think those Man United players are suited to play that formation. So unless he don't change, he's going to evidently lose his job.
So you don't think the problem's deeper rooted than the system? I mean, he's come out and said exactly as we'd expect him to say. This is not the system's problem. So where is the blame? Where does the blame lie?
I think it is a system.
And also, Clinton, he's saying quite worryingly at the weekend after that Brentford defeat that he doesn't know which of his Manchester United sides are going to turn up from Saturday to Sunday.
Yeah, but he doesn't need to do that, because right about now the pressure is on him. It's not the players that are going to lose their job, it's him going to be losing their job. So he needs the players to stick with him. It surprises me when managers come out and say that, because if you keep saying that, you're going to end up losing the dressing room. I'm not saying players are going to down tool, but at the end of the day, when you lose your job, they won't be sending messages to say they're sorry to see you go. They'll be like, off you go. It's a difficult time for them at the moment. If Bruno Fernandes scores the penalty, I think it's a different game. They go on and win the game. At the moment, things are not going right for him. But I do think that system is not working for them, bro.
So put yourselves in those shoes, right? Have you been in a situation back in the day at Birmingham, at Palace or something, where a manager's playing a system and collectively you go as a group and say, look, something has to change?
Yeah, but
would you do that as a squad?
Yeah, you would do that. Your senior players would go in and say, listen, I don't think we're adapting to this formation. We need to change it, because if not, we're not going to get results, and we're not adjusting. Even though as footballers you should be able to adjust to any formation, you should be able to play anywhere. But I just don't think they have the players. You look at the two midfielders, centre midfielders. It was Bruno Fernandes, Agate. Agate can't get around the pitch. He can't get around the pitch, and I think Bruno Fernandes is their best player. Is he better in that position? I think he's better further up in one of the 10s. But you bought Mbeumo and Cunha, so you pay big money, so you want to play them. So I just think at the moment where they spent money at the top end, they should have looked at the back first and then worked their way forward. But they just haven't got the money. I think the recruitment, I'm not saying the 3 players that they brought in, because I think they'll be good. I do think Cunha and Mbeumo, them 2 in particular, will be good. The jury's still out on Šeško, but he gets his goal. But It's him, the manager. He has to change. If he don't want to change, he's going to lose his job.
Just quickly then, if Manchester United lose to Sunderland on Saturday, and that is a tough game for them, isn't it? That's
Yeah,
at
of
Old
course.
Trafford, but the way Sunderland are playing, the way they played against Nottingham
Yeah,
Forest,
of
the way they,
course.
got a point at your old team,
Yeah,
Crystal Palace.
yeah.
If he loses that, does he survive the international break?
There'll be big question marks. But after hearing
get off
Daniel,
the fence, Clinton?
because hearing Daniel Kahn now, you don't know what he's going to be like. Because he said he's from the inside of Man United. They're not ready to get rid of him. They're ready to stick with him. So I would think if he probably lost to Sunderland, big question marks, and he could end up losing his job. It'd probably be the right time to do it during that international break.
You know the first game back after the international break?
Who?
Liverpool, Anfield.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God. He needs to win against Sunderland or he's banging trouble. But that's what he's done. When he's become under pressure, he was under pressure before the Chelsea game. They go and win the Chelsea game. That is what he's doing at the moment. So, but he needs a run of games. They need a run of games and a run of wins. It's sad what's happening at Man United Football Club. Legends like Rooney and Gary Neville, they speak so well about the club because in their time, the club was flying and winning stuff and doing ever so well. So they're right to speak about it. But, yeah, it's not good at the moment.
You just hope, Clinton, they don't go and nick your manager, Oliver Glasner.
Nah, you don't need to say that. Glasner's all right. What's the point? He doesn't need to go to Man United at the moment. Palace are doing all right. Let's leave him here for the season anyway, that's for sure.
Why don't you slide into his DMs during the break, right? After which Jack Grealish, of course, has rediscovered his love for the game at Everton this season. Next, we will hear from him and his hopes of getting back into England contention. See you in a few minutes.
Obviously, I think I want to be in the England.